In the following video, we're looking at E33. It says the Puffing Buddy is a small business owned and managed by Neil Strong. The entity offers rides over weekends in an old steam train that it hires from the Railway Museum. School groups can book and take rides on credit with payment due within 3 weeks. Members of the public are required to pay cash at the time of taking rides, and the following is a list of assets and liabilities of the Puffing Buddy for 2015. If we move further down, we see the list of assets and liabilities. We can see that bank is an asset, accounts receivable is an asset, suppliers on hand is an asset, insurance paid in advance is an asset, and accounts payable is the liability. We're given the transactions for July 2015, and then it says that we're required to enter the balances, enter the transactions in the accounting equation, prepare the financial statements. So the first thing we notice that they give us the balances. So if we enter the balances, we notice that we have the bank balance, which is the first one I'm going to enter, of 8,000. We have the next one is accounts receivable 4,200, and then supplies on hand of 1,200, and then insurance paid in advance of 1,800. Then we have liability of 1,400, and that's accounts payable. I'm going to add text here, so that's bank, accounts receivable, supplies, and insurance paid in advance. If we add this up, so if we do the sum, add these up, so it's 8,000 plus 4,200 plus 1,200 plus 1,800. So that comes to 15,200. So my assets equal 15,200, but my liabilities only equal 1,400. So what we're missing is our opening balance of equity. Because remember, even at the start, when we're given a list of balances, the accounting equation should be in balance before we can go ahead and record the transactions for that month. So we say 15,200 minus 1,400, and my capital account starts with 13,800. Now we can go ahead and record the transactions. So let's record the first few. It says we paid 600 Rand of the accounts payable. So transaction number 1, we paid, so we know the bank account must decrease, minus under assets 600 Rand, and that's bank. Under liabilities, we paid, so we owe them less, so minus 600 for accounts payable. Next transaction number 2, it says we paid 3,600 to the Railway Museum for hiring the steam train. Again, the keyword there is paid, so we say minus 3,600. We paid the railway for hiring the train, so that goes under expenses, 3,600, and that is hiring expense. Transaction number 3, it says we received 2,000 Rand owing from school groups. We received money. What happened to the bank account? Increases with 2,000 Rand. That's bank. Who did we receive money from? We received money from people who owe us. So that would be minus under assets for accounts receivable, right? Because they no longer owe us. Transaction number 4. We purchased supplies on credit costing 500 Rand. Supplies is an asset, so my assets increase. We purchased on credit, so my liabilities increase with 500, and that's accounts payable. Transaction number 5. We billed 11,500 into school groups for train rides. So we billed them, which means we invoice them, telling them that they owe us. So 11,500, my assets increase, and that's accounts receivable. My income is going to increase with 11,500, and that is for the services we rendered. Right? So that's my income. Transaction number 6. Remember, under income you can't state income because income is a classification. It's not a type of account. Transaction number 6, we paid employees wages amounting to 2,400. So we go to transaction 6 and we say my bank account must decrease with 2,000 rand. Is it 2,400? That's bank. And under expenses we have plus 2,400, and that is for wages. Next transaction, transaction 7. It says that we received 2,000 rand in cash from members of the public for train rides. So we received 2,000 rand. Bank account is going to increase. Income account is going to increase with 2,000 rand, and that's again for services rendered. Transaction number 8 says we paid 180 rand for advertising. We paid, so what happens to the bank account? Decreases. We paid for advertising, which is an expense, increasing. Right, and remember what we said, the more expenses increase, the more owner's equity decreases. Transaction number 9. We distributed 900 rand cash to Neil Strong. Remember, Neil Strong is the owner. So we gave the owner cash. So what happens to my bank account? Decreases. This is a distribution. So distributions would increase with 900. Transaction 10. It says we counted the supplies on hand and it comes to 980. So now we must say we had supplies of 1,200. We purchased supplies of 500. So how much supplies do we have? So we go to the next page. So we say our opening balance for supplies is 1,200. We bought more supplies of 500. And then it says on hand we have 980. So I'm putting this in the counting balance quickly. So on hand we have left 980. So this is what is left. We need to determine then how much we've used. So if we had 1,200 plus 500, which means we had 1,700. We only have 980 left. So we subtract the 980 and that will then determine how much we've used. So it's 1,700 minus 980, which means this will become my supplies expense. So we've used off the supplies. So what happens to my supplies? It decreases with the 720 because that's how much we used. This becomes an expense. So on the expenses we have plus 720 for supplies expense. Then transaction number 11. Transaction number 11 says the 1,800 for insurance paid in advance relates to 1 year policy effective on the 30th of June. So we paid insurance beginning of last month for a year. Do we still have a full year left? No, we've used 1 month. So now we must determine how much 1 month is, and that 1 month will then be the expense. So we say 1,800 divided by 12, which means 150. So here we have insurance paid in advance of 1,800. So remember now, the insurance is paid in advance. for the year. We've now used 1 month. Do they still owe us a year's service? No, they owe us 11 months service. So we decrease the insurance paid in advance, and this now becomes 150, which is my insurance expense. So now that the accounting equation is complete, you can now go ahead and complete the financial statements.